A brand new day. It's what I tell myself every morning. I try to believe it as much as I could. At first, it was easy, but then it started to get harder and harder. Hebrews 12 verses 1 and 2 say, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God." Hello, I'm Chris Ong. I'm married to Elsie Chua and we have 3 beautiful daughters, Leah, Ray and Hannah. I've been with ARPC since 2008 and now I'm a full-time media creative for church. Last year I took part in the Helping Hands Ride to Restore event. It's a fundraiser for their daily operations. Everyone who took part had to accumulate a certain distance and by doing so encourage their friends and family to donate to the Helping Hand. One of the aspects of the event is that there would be a prize watch for the one who accumulated the longest distance over the course of the challenge. I took part in the 2021 edition, during which, by the way, our brother Daniel won the prize watch for the longest distance travel on the bike. The cause resonated with me, and in 2021, I unexpectedly raised over $3,000. So in 2022, I thought I might try to raise even more money. I also wanted to see how far I could ride during the challenge period and maybe even win the prize watch. So I rode every day for the entire June, roughly alternating between 100 kilometers and 60 kilometers each day. It was easy at first, but because of the building fatigue, every ride started to feel more and more difficult. Because I still had to be there for family and work, I had to wake up super early to ride or ride really late at night. I rode in a hot afternoon sun, in the middle of the night, in heavy rain and on windy days, on the road, on gravel, sand, mud, whatever. I just kept going and going. Every day after I finished a ride, I had to almost immediately prepare for the next day's ride. This happened day after day after day. I was starting to feel tired all the time, and I had to take counterpain and Panadol every day in order to function normally. I started to ask myself why I was doing this. For the former offenders, I told myself, for raising funds so they can sustain operations at the Helping Hand, to see how far I could go, to win a material prize. But whenever I reminded myself of all these reasons, they sounded hollow to me. Then one morning, before my ride in my devotion, I read Hebrews 12, and especially verses 1 and 2, which say, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God." The cloud of witnesses are the heroes of faith in the Old Testament who are cheering us on. Lay aside every weight. The weight is the weight of the worldly reasons that I carry, and the sin, which refers to my broken relationship with God. I really had been riding for the wrong reasons, raising funds and winning an expensive-ish watch. But this whole time, whatever my reasons were, whatever my prayers were, whatever my devotions, I wasn't running to Jesus. I was just using my own physical ability and resilience to raise funds for the Helping Hand, to see how great I am as a rider and to gain a material reward. However altruistic my reasons were, it had little to do with Jesus, which is why I think I had lost the plot and become disillusioned with the whole challenge. Maybe I should quit, I told myself. But then verse 2 says, "Looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. I stopped thinking about fundraising and accumulating very long distances, and in doing so, I gave up on the idea of winning the prize watch. Now, whenever I go out to ride, I go out to seek what looking for Jesus actually means. He endured the cross long before I had to endure anything, much less all this riding during the challenge period. I've come to understand that there's nothing I can do in my shameful state to save myself. And although I've never stopped riding, I started to ride less and less. I spent more time in the morning with the girls, and we started after dinner devotions. And then there was the Getty concert around that time, so we added family worship to our devotions. At that time, his voice shook the earth. But now he has promised, "Yet once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens." This phrase, "yet once more," indicates the removal of things that are shaken, that is, things that have been made, in order that the things that cannot be shaken may remain. Therefore, let us be grateful for receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, and thus let us offer to God acceptable worship with reverence and awe, for our God is a consuming fire. A kingdom that cannot be shaken. That's kind of our reward, isn't it? Again, let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. The joy that was set before Jesus, being seated at the right hand of the throne of God, in the kingdom that cannot be shaken. I think in the end, that is the only reward worth living for.